So why, basically, what made you to opt for this particular subject? Yes, Abhi Kagwad, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So, Abhi, what made you to take this particular subject as your elective?
I think that the subject is easy, sir. Sir, I will take.
Very, very frank. Even I am from engineering background, so normally we opt for easy subjects. Okay, that is what Abhi Kagwad told. Okay, any other student looking at the outcome of this particular subject, sir? I want to know, understand basically this subject, the importance of this subject. Yes, Sanjana Chindak. Good morning, Sanjana. Am I audible?
So,
Good morning, Sanjana. What made you to opt for this particular subject? You're
so
from which?
because
You're from which branch, ma?
computer science,
CS. Okay. Yeah.
I felt this is easy compared to other subjects, so I opted.
All engineers are thinking in the same way. So very good. Okay. So always we say no, engineers we should be very smart. So when we say about smart, it is when I say SMART, smart, it is specific. We should be measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. So we should think smart. So that is what. Any other answer? I want to listen from any volunteers. Harshavardhan Upadhyay. Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Harshavardhan. Randomly, I'm taking the
Good morning,
students. So
sir.
that, yeah. Good morning, Harshavardhan. You are from which branch?
Yeah. Sir, computer science.
All are CS. Okay. What made you, Harshavardhan, to take this subject?
Sir, I thought it's related to some occupational health and safety, so I took for health purpose.
Health purpose. Okay, fantastic. Right, Harshavardhan. Kindly mute it, Harshavardhan. Praveen Rathod. Good morning, Praveen. Any other student? Praveen. Good morning. I'm randomly.
Good
Good
morning,
morning. You
sir.
are from which branch, Praveen?
Triple A, sir.
Triple A. Okay, Praveen. Any other reason? Any particular reason why you have opted for this particular subject?
Sir, this is a safety precaution, sir.
Okay, it is required from the future point
Basic.
of view. Very good. See, today what we are seeing, because of a small negligence, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit a second wave, and entire Karnataka is now very famous across the world because of the number of cases, as well as the number of deaths which are happening in Karnataka, right? So according to many of you, health plays a very important role. If health is fine, then we can achieve anything in our life, correct? So many students have thought even from that point of view. Okay, last I want to ask, say, Vaibhav Gasti is there. Good morning, Vaibhav. Am I audible, Vaibhav?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Vaibhav is from which branch?
Mechanical, sir.
Okay, Vaibhav, why you have taken this particular subject? Any particular reason?
I thought that it's related to some healthy
Hmm.
health department, so I took this subject, sir.
Okay. Thinking from the health point of view. Okay, fantastic. Okay, students. Now we will go for the module 2 of this subject, that is occupational health and safety. So once again, I welcome and good morning to all of you. So the subject is occupational health and safety, and the subject code is 18CV653. And today we'll be majorly discussing about the module 2 of this particular subject, that is ergonomics at workplace. Well, all of you, please see the slide. Can anyone tell me, can you see the slide? Am I audible to you? Can anyone tell me yes, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can see the slide. Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Now, students, ergonomics. So first we'll try to understand the concept of ergonomics. Then we can go ahead with other topics. Well, in this particular module, students, we'll try to understand in depth the meaning of ergonomics, specifically at workplace. Then ergonomics task analysis. We'll try to understand how to prevent ergonomic hazards. Then workspace envelopes. We'll try to understand what is visual ergonomics. Then globally, what are the standards related to ergonomic, that is ergonomic standards. Then a lot of programs are there, which is ergonomic programs. We'll be understanding each program in detail. Then hazard cognition and analysis, and some of the errors that are called human error analysis, fault tree analysis, emergency response, then decision for action, and finally purpose and considerations. So these are the major topics what we'll be discussing in this module 2 of occupational health and safety, right? So we'll try to understand first and foremost ergonomics. So if we are strong with the basics, understanding what is ergonomics, then all the topics will be very simple for all of you. Now, ergonomics, students, is the process of, please understand what I'm saying. Ergonomics is the process of designing or arranging workplaces, products, and systems so that they fit the people who use them. I'm repeating once again, students. Ergonomics is the process of designing or arranging workplaces, products, and systems so that they fit the people who use them. Now, students, please understand, most people or most of you have heard of ergonomics and think it is something to do with sitting or with the design or even some car controls and instruments. And it is, but it is so much more. Ergonomics applies to the design of anything that involves people, workspaces, sports and leisure, health and safety. Students, please understand, ergonomics, sometimes human factors, as it is referred to in North America, it is a branch of science that aims to learn about human abilities and limitations, and then apply this learning to improve people's interaction with products, systems, and environments. So what we understood about ergonomics, please see the slide over there. So ergonomics is defined as the science of conforming, that is fit or be suitable, the workplace and all its elements to the worker. So basically, students, the word ergonomics is derived from the Greek word ergon, which means to work, and nomos means laws or studies. So what do we understand here? The safety measure, what we will be taking in the working environment or in any environment where we are actually involved. Let it be our sitting position, let it be our eye contact with the system, so that nothing hazardous situation should happen over there. So therefore, ergonomics means work laws. In practical, it consists of the scientific principles applied in minimizing the physical stress associated with the workplace. I'm repeating once again. It consists of the scientific principles applied in minimizing means what? Reducing the physical stress associated with the workplace. So, ergonomics aims to improve the workspaces and environments. Students, please understand, in order to minimize the risk of injury or harm. So basically, what this entire subject is all about, it is aiming to improve the workspaces and environments, basically to minimize the risk of injury or harm. So if you can see in some of the, recently what we saw, the accident which took place due to the oxygen cylinders in India, right? I want to just illustrate what exactly happened over there. See, you are seeing a lot of stories in the media that due to oxygen, the leakage in the oxygen cylinder, many people have died. They have lost their life. Okay, but it is basically because of what? Because of the the working environment which is not actually safe for them. See, we have recently heard Nashik hospital oxygen leak. Correct? Many saw people take cylinders from the dead, use them to revive kin. Correct? So what happened? People die in front of your eyes in less than an hour, which is in traumatic. So basically, as soon as that happened, there was a panic on the third floor where most of the critical patients were kept with the staff bringing out jumbo cylinders to help the patients. So relatives rushed to the ward after hearing something had gone wrong. When they realized that the oxygen had run out, relatives, including everybody, clamored to get these cylinders from the bedsides of patients who are being given oxygen and they have already died. So just imagine, students, if we do not take the safety measures in the working environment, it is a question of human life which is going to impact over there. Now, today, you only tell me, can we replace the human life with monetary benefit or money?
Not at all.
So it's not possible, right? So first and foremost is what? The ergonomics of the workplace should ensure that the tools we access for work should actually minimize the loss, should minimize the risk, should minimize the hazardous event that is going to happen. So ergonomics aims to improve workspaces and environment to minimize risk of injury or harm. So as technologies change, so too does the need to ensure that the tools we access for work. So rest and play are designed for our body's requirements. Now, before going to the benefits of ergonomics, students, we'll try to understand why is ergonomics so important in today's generation or today's scenario. So according to Safe Work Australia, some of the Safe Work Australia, the total economic cost of work-related injuries and illness today, students, it is estimated to be 60 billion US dollars. So recent research has shown that lower back pain is the world's most common work-related disability. All of you have heard. I think your parents might be telling, or many might be telling, I have got lower back pain, which is one of the world's most common work-related disability, affecting employees, from offices, building sites, and in the highest risk category, that is agriculture sector. So ergonomics aims to create safe, comfortable, and productive workspaces by bringing human abilities and the limitations into the design of a workspace, including the individual's body size, strength, skill, speed, and even sensory abilities, which is vision and hearing, and even attitudes. So students in Australia, the number of people in Australia age 75 and over is forecast to double over the next 50 years. So with this equipment, services and systems will need to be designed to accommodate the increasing needs of the aging population, correct? Applying to the public transport, building facilities, and even the living spaces. So how does basically ergonomics work? So students, this is a very, very important module in this particular subject. We'll try to understand how our working environment should be. See, in a building of say 10 story, I think 10 story, if in any of the floor, if the fire catches, the building should be designed in such a way that easily people should be brought down. So they should not stuck in the same floor, or the people who are in the higher floor cannot come down. It should not happen like that, right? So how does basically ergonomics work? Ergonomics is a relatively new branch of science which even celebrated its 50th anniversary in the year 1999, but relies on research carried out in many other older established scientific areas such as engineering, physiology, and psychology. Students, that's a good thing. What the system has introduced today is a computer science student or an electrical student or a mechanical student wants to know about the safety measures that has to be taken in the working environment. That is a very good thing. Probably in the next decade, students, the safety of whom? The safety of the employees plays a very, very important role. Right, because the companies cannot pay the compensation if something, accident happens over there. If one or two accident happens, okay. But if large amount of people die because of the accident, so how do companies pay the compensation? So the first and foremost thing is the companies should invest basically considering the safety measure of all its employees, because the companies should think that because of the employees they are sustaining in the in this present scenario. So to achieve the best practice design, ergonomists use the data and techniques of several disciplines. Like it's a combination of medicine as well as engineering. Please understand, this subject is a combination of medicine and that is medicine as well as engineering. So for example, we will be understanding anthropometry, wherein body sizes, shapes, populations, and variations. Then we'll understand biomechanics, muscles, levers, forces, and strength. Then environmental physics, which includes noise, light, heat, cold, radiation, vibration body systems, hearing, vision, sensations, and how it's going to impact on a human body. Then applied psychology, which might include skill or learning or errors, differences. Today majority of the people, there's something word called as tension or stress. The stress level in students also has so much increased that they immediately get angry, or some students are too emotional. So why is it so? Basically it is because of the applied psychology, wherein the way you learn, the way you make your friends. So yesterday I was discussing with my students, there are a lot of the leadership styles. Basically a lot of leadership styles. So there we speak more about the personality of an individual. So attitudes of a leader, whether attitudes are positive or negative thinking, that also is very important when we are designing the ergonomics or the working environment. Right? Then finally, the social psychology, that is groups, communication, learning behaviors. See, students, there is a proverb which says that your character will be decided based on your friend. That means with whom you are actually roaming or with whom you are making a friendship. Based on that, we will decide what type of person you are. Right? So the social psychology includes your groups or the communication, learning behaviors. See, you might be seeing in your friend circle, few students will be always speaking positive, and obviously the positive things will happen to them. Correct? And few will be always speaking negative, and obviously when we are listening to all these negative thoughts, those negative things only will come to us. Right? So basically our thinking will decide our next course of action. So we'll try to understand in detail about this ergonomics. Ergonomics can roughly be defined as the study of people in their working environment. More specifically, an ergonomist designs or modifies the work to fit the worker, not other way around. The basic goal, students, of ergonomics is to eliminate the discomfort and the risk of injury due to work. Please understand always, students, the employee should be the first priority in analyzing a workstation. So ergonomics is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interactions among the human and other elements of a system, and the profession that applies theory, principles, data, and the methods to design in order to optimize the human well-being and overall system performance. So when evaluating a job, we're looking for three main characteristics known as ergonomic stressors: the force required to complete a task, so any awkward or static working postures adopted in completing a task, and the repetitiveness of a task. So any of these factors or any combination of these factors may place someone at a greater risk for discomfort. See, what happens when you're working or when you are studying the entire day, or some students will be studying entire night, okay? See, without their knowledge, their sitting posture, the way they sit, the way they hold their book, the way they hold some students hold the book very near to their eye. Some students hold the book very far to their eye. So probably there might be eye related issues if they continue with the long term. Or some students will they completely bend their back and sit. So they might get a lower back pain, probably if they continue with the same posture. See, the Department of Environment, Health and Safety's purpose is to help all the employees create and maintain a healthy and a safe working environment. So, the goal is to provide information and education to allow any employee to avoid the injury. So, ergonomics is all about designing for the people, defined as the science of fitting a workplace to users' needs. So ergonomics aims to increase the efficiency and productivity and even reduce the discomfort. Now, a small example I want to tell you: the use of computers and rapidly changing technology in the modern workplace has greatly increased the need for ergonomics. So desk, basically the chairs, monitors, keyboards, and lighting all need to be assessed when creating a workspace, whether it is an office or home. Today everything is work from home, so it can be an office or it can be an home. So ergonomics also takes into account the need for movement throughout the day. So office furniture has traditionally encouraged stiff, fixed postures and little movement. However, a balance between the sitting and standing, which can be aided with a height adjustable desk, is a proven way to combat the effects of sedentary workplace behavior. So this is about, basically about the entire meaning of about ergonomics. It's basically, it's a scientific principles applied in minimizing the physical stress or associated with the workplace. Now, we'll try to understand what are the benefits of ergonomics. After understanding the meaning, the thorough meaning of ergonomics, we'll try to understand some of the advantages and the benefits of ergonomics. You can see the slide over there, students. The first one is what? So we will try to understand the benefits of ergonomics. You can see the slide over there. The first one is improved health and safety for worker. So all of you have understood by this time that ergonomics is important because when you're doing a job, your body is stressed by an awkward posture without your knowledge, or it can be due to extreme temperature or a repeated movement. So what happens? Your musculoskeletal system is affected. your body may begin to have symptoms such as fatigue, discomfort, and pain, which can be the first sign of musculoskeletal disorder. So, if you have a proper working environment with proper light or the proper sitting arrangement, then you can obviously improve your health and safety, right? Not only of you, but even for your employees also. Because workers, they come in all different sizes. So only ergonomics can help make the work more comfortable for the individual worker. Then the second benefit of ergonomics is higher discipline or moral throughout the workplace. Then the third one is improved quality. Improved quality of what? Improved quality of the work what you are doing. Because when everything is perfect, the quality of the work also improves, the productivity also improves, the gross profits of the company also improves, the health of the employees also will be perfect. So improved productivity and obviously improved competitiveness. We'll try to understand all the benefits in detail. Now the first could be increase the savings. How you can increase the savings? That is one of the benefit of ergonomics, right? How we can increase the savings? The reason is when you have a proper workspace, there'll be fewer injuries, then more productive and sustainable employees will be there, and fewer workers' compensation claims from the organization. So obviously what you are doing here, you're increasing the savings. See, please understand, students, there is a survey which has been done by OSHA. The average direct cost of a worker compensation claim is somewhere around $14,120 US. That too, it was in 2007. Now it might have increased. Then the indirect costs involved bring the total average claim cost to over $32,000 US. See the cost involved in paying the compensation to the employees by the organization, right? So by properly arranging your working environment, you can increase the savings. Then fewer employees experience pain. See, implementing ergonomic improvements can reduce the risk factors that lead to discomfort. Then we can increase the productivity. You can see the fourth point over there, improved productivity. So when we speak about productivity, what do you mean by that? Ergonomic improvements can reduce the primary risk factors for musculoskeletal disorders. So workers are more efficient, productive, and have a greater job satisfaction. See, for example, if you have any kind of discomfort, then entire day you'll not be so active. Correct? You have experienced that. If you have got a mild headache or stomach discomfort, so entire day you'll not be so active. Your work will be not so effective. Your productivity will come down. So ergonomic improvements can reduce the primary risk factors related to musculoskeletal disorders. So workers are more efficient, they're productive, and have greater job satisfaction. Then increased morale. So what do you mean by morale over there? So attention to ergonomics can make employees feel valued because they know their employer is making their workspace safer. See, today in almost all the organization, they believe that an employee is a true asset of any organization. Correct? It is only because of the people, is the loyal employees, they can take the company to the next level. We have seen many companies. And then today in almost all the manufacturing sectors, absenteeism is at a higher pace. So we can reduce the absenteeism by properly following the good working environment. How we can reduce the absenteeism? Ergonomics leads to healthy and even pain-free workers who are more likely to be engaged and productive. See, some of the common barriers are there, and how we can come out with the solution, we'll discuss. Some companies say that, see, a proper working environment, they believe that it is very costly, it costs money. But the solution for that is ergonomics doesn't have to be costly, and it can save even so much money. There are a lot of risk reduction techniques which the company can implement. Then the second barrier could be staff is not interested in learning a better way to do things. But what is the solution for that? Show the staff how it will make their work easier. For healthcare workers, remind them that their patients will be more comfortable. Correct? And then the third barrier could be management is not interested in staff comfort or safety. This is a common complaint in almost all the organizations. My boss is not worried about my safety, or my management is not worried about my safety. Then what is the solution for that? Focus on the business case for ergonomics. So present the return on investment figures. We have to use the safety committee, document the changes, and put a price savings on your work. Now, if you bend in an awkward posture and do and work 3 to 4 hours in a day, so what happens? Obviously, you'll be getting the back pain problem, right? So we have to try to avoid and focus on our postures. That is very important, students. Then there are a lot. We'll try to understand the next part. That is a lot of ergonomic programs have been developed across the world today. So we'll try to understand each one of them. Ergonomic programs are best performed by a professional ergonomist. The ergonomic team or any qualified person can use analysis program to conduct work site analysis and identify stresses in the workplace. So I'll explain you more about the programs, ergonomic programs. Students, 1 minute, I'll just drink water. Okay, we'll continue with ergonomic programs. So the purpose of this ergonomic program is to inform the interested persons, which includes employees, who are committed to improve the employees' comfort and well-being by identifying and correcting ergonomic risk factors on the job. So this program applies to all the work operations, both in the plant and in the office areas. So the safety manager coordinates all the safety and health programs. So he or she, who the safety manager, reviews the ergonomics program and provides the guidance as required by the organization. So the company which has implemented this ergonomics program at all its company sites to address the problem of musculoskeletal disorders, we call it as MSDs. MSDs have become an issue of increasing concern because they continue to rise in occurrence. Whereas students, these ergonomic programs in any organization, what happens here is, under this program, a team of employees will evaluate jobs which they have identified as having a problem areas. And they develop and implement the solution to reduce the job-related worker injury and illness. So normally how they do is, we call it as a job analysis. So before writing the job analysis, what they do a brainstorming session. The subject matter experts will go and interview the employees to know any accidents which has happened in the previous years. Then what they do, they record it carefully. And a team of the employees will evaluate the job which they have identified as having problem areas. And they develop and implement solutions to reduce the job-related injury or illness. See, the goal of this ergonomics program is to prevent the occurrence of work-related musculoskeletal disorders, that is MSDs, by controlling or eliminating the risk factors which cause them, basically. So this program ensures that all the affected employees are aware of the job related risk factors and they provide information and solutions to elevate them. So majority of the companies today in India and abroad, they promote continuous improvement for the efficiency, comfort, and even well-being of all the employees through a team effort of management and employees' involvement. So basically it consists of ergonomics team and a leader who in the team who is responsible for the ergonomics program. The ergonomics team will develop the objectives for the ergonomic improvements within the organization and methods for identifying and resolving all the problem areas. And finally, the written plan for these goals, objectives, and even the solutions may be obtained. Correct? The team members have been trained. They'll be trained to recognize the problem jobs, the identifying risk factors, and even develop the solutions to reduce these factors. So elements of this training include the identification of workplace risk factors, then job analysis methods. As I mentioned to you, what do you mean by job analysis? Carefully analyzing the roles and responsibilities of an individual who is working in an organization, right? So job analysis methods, implementation and evaluation of control measures, and teamwork skills. Then it comes injury or medical management students, which is very, very emerging area. See, injury or medical management is the healthcare provider. We have, the company will be choosing to provide a medical treatment for all the employees with injuries or illness relating to ergonomic factors. The team will visit the plant or the area where the employees are working and are familiar with our specific workplace job procedures and all the job risk factors. And this ergonomic program students will encourage all the employees to immediately report any symptoms of discomfort that may be associated with their job duties. In most of the cases, employees report to their immediate supervisor or team leader, or even sometimes if they cannot go to the supervisor, they'll immediately tell to the team leader to whom they are reporting. And those supervisors or the team leaders are responsible to recommend alternative work or medical evaluation for injured or any employee who is ill. Then what will the team leader or the supervisor will do? Supervisors record and file the written reports from the first observation of illness or injury through all the subsequent follow-up activities. They are all responsible to forward the information about the worker injury or illness for recording on the log of work-related injuries and illness. Then the supervisor, what he may do, he may recommend that the job receive an evaluation from the ergonomics team. So supervisors or the team leaders or other personnel with these responsibilities will write the proper method for that. So after the ergonomics team has what we are trying to understand here is, in one of the organization or in any organization, the ergonomics program should be implemented in the same manner. The ergonomic team has developed a list of light and restricted duty jobs which have low MSDs or musculoskeletal risk. So this list is a valuable resource for assigning duties to recovering employees until they can resume their normal job function. So which might include the list of light duty tasks, add additional bullets as needed or additional weights as needed. So after verification of an employee's job related injury or illness, the safety manager and the ergonomics team will review this plan, and they even re-evaluate the workstation to determine if additional practices, procedures, or even sometimes redesign of the station could be implemented to prevent similar injuries. Then the next phase is identifying the problem jobs. See, students, there is no standard method to identify the problem jobs. We say no always. We need to first identify the root cause of the problem, right? But there is no standard method to identify. But there are several methods used to identify the problem jobs which are most likely to result in ergonomic disorders. So the ergonomics team initially reviewed and periodically monitors injury and illness records, such as the log of work-related injuries and illness, and even the workers' compensation data to identify the patterns of ergonomic-related injuries and even the illness. In addition, jobs are evaluated for the following risk factors, which I will tell now. That is, those are rate and number of repetitions. That is very important, students. If any event is happening very frequently, we can mark it as very, very critical. So rate and number of repetitions, that means performance of the same motion or motion patterns every few seconds for more than 2 hours at a time. Then postures and limb positions, that is fixed or awkward work postures, such as overhead work, twisted or bent back, correct? So normally in the for the mechanical engineers in the manufacturing company, so you need to do a lot of physical work is required for you. So bent wrist or sometimes stooping or squatting for more than a total of 2 hours. Then vibration, so use of vibrating or impact tools or equipment for more than a total of 2 hours. So loads, sometimes you need to lift the load, that is lifting, lowering or carrying of anything weighing for more than 25 pounds, that is 11.34 kg, more than once during the work shift. So what we are understanding now, students, we are understanding the jobs that are evaluated for the following risk factors. Then muscle forces, that is continually pulling or pushing the objects. Normally computer science engineers, they don't face all this, but people who are working in manufacturing company, triple E students, mechanical engineers, civil engineers, sometimes ENC people or students are from ENC domain, okay? Then last but not the least is work pace, that is piece rate or machine paced work for more than 4 hours at a time. So the ergonomic team, what they do, they have identified the following jobs at the facility which are having these ergonomic risk factors. Then ergonomics team members participate in evaluating the new equipment and process for potential risk factors. So they even also evaluate the hand tools to determine if the designs are ergonomically suitable for the intended use and appropriate for the workers who use them. Then the possible solutions also we have to understand, students, here. So when a job, process or equipment has been evaluated, the ergonomics team completes a risk factor checklist. So through this checklist, problems are identified for correction and supervisors and employees in the affected areas are notified. Correct? So the ergonomics team, in conjunction with those affected employees, will develop the possible solutions, choose the most appropriate solution, then implement the changes and follow up to determine the effectiveness. Now for each problem job which has been changed, they maintain a file of the improvement and changes completed. So the file contains documentation of the ergonomic related illness or injuries, the actual changes made, and any similar incidents which occurred after the changes were implemented. So for these students, very, very, very important thing is suitable employee training has to be provided. That is very, very important. So what happens here is, after the thorough review, the management staff, they receive the copies of written ergonomic programs and the company's policy statement regarding ergonomics in the workplace. Then after receiving, they train each employee who works at a job with exposure to specific risk factor, and each employee in a job where a work related musculoskeletal disorder has been recorded. So some of the ergonomic elements what they teach in almost majority of the organization or to the employees will be: number one, how to recognize the workplace risk factor associated with work related musculoskeletal disorders and the ways to reduce the exposure to those risk factors. And the second one is the signs and symptoms of work related musculoskeletal disorders, the importance of early reporting and medical management procedures. Reporting procedures and the person to whom the employee is to report workplace risk factors and work related musculoskeletal disorders. Then opportunity to practice and demonstrate proper use of implemented control measures and even the safe work methods which apply to the job. So after all these students, each employee involved in the job analysis will be trained in the job analysis methods, especially as they relate to identifying workplace risk factors and the evaluation and implementation of control measures. So this is about the ergonomics program. So basically what we are trying to do is everything will be recorded and it will be explained to the employees who are working, so that all the safety and the precautionary measures will be taken in order to safeguard the health of an employee. So what are the benefits of a workplace ergonomics process? See, ergonomics, as we have discussed, it reduces the cost. How it reduces the cost? By systematically reducing the ergonomic risk factors, you can prevent the costly MSDs. And there are many proven benefits of ergonomics in the workplace. Some of them include ergonomics reduces the cost. There are many proven, that's what I'm telling you, many proven. So it is proved that 59% average reduction of musculoskeletal disorders have been taken place, 65% average reduction in the incident rate, in the accident rate, 75% reduction in the loss of work days, 53% reduction in restricted days. Right, these are all proven, students. And 43% decrease in labor cost. And ergonomics, they improve the productivity of any organization. Please understand, the best ergonomic solutions will often improve the productivity. How? By designing a job to allow for good posture, less exertion, fewer motions, and better heights and reaches. So 25% increase in productivity will happen. And even ergonomics improves the quality. So poor ergonomics leads to be frustrated and fatigued workers, and they don't do their best work. Correct? So when the job task is too physically taxing on the worker, they may not perform the job like they were trained. For example, an employee might not fasten a screw tight enough due to a high force requirement, which could create a product quality issue. Correct? Due to which 67% average reduction in scrap or errors might come. So the company's productivity might come down, or the quality of the product what they have manufactured might come down. Then ergonomics improves the employee engagement. This is very, very important, students. What do you mean by employee engagement here? Employees notice when the company is putting forth their best efforts to ensure their health and safety. If an employee does not experience fatigue and discomfort during their workday, it can reduce the turnover decrease. It can reduce the turnover, or it can even decrease the absenteeism, improve morale, and increase employee involvement. So 48% average reduction in employee turnover and 58% average reduction in employee absenteeism. And finally, students, these ergonomic programs today in almost all the organizations, if they have implemented, it will create a better safety culture. So why today some of the top multinational companies are students want to go and join there first? It is because of the reputation what they have created, right? Say, for example, all the computer science students, they first say, sir, I want to work in Accenture or Infosys or Capgemini or IBM. The reason is where? Because of the reputation what they have built, the companies have built. So ergonomics shows your company's commitment to safety and health as a core value. The cumulative effect of the previous 4 benefits of ergonomics, what I discussed, it is a stronger safety culture for your company. So healthy employees are your most valuable asset. Please understand, healthy employees are your most valuable asset. So creating and fostering the safety and health culture at your company will lead to better human performance for your organization. So in an ergonomic process, worth the cost? Yes, absolutely. Not only is ergonomics good for your business, it is also great for the people who work in the organization. As health and safety professionals, we need to be able to demonstrate the value of ergonomics to get buy-in for the process. So good managers consider the following when making the decisions in any organization for that sake. So some of the decisions include, students, will this increase our revenues? Yes. Will this decrease our cost? Yes. Is this the right thing to do? Yeah, we are doing the right thing. So when considering a workplace ergonomics process, you can answer with an empathetic yes to all the 3 of these questions. So this is what about ergonomic programs and the benefit of these programs implemented in any organization or in any companies. Now we will try to understand the next slide, that is the work site analysis program, which are divided into 4 main categories. Okay, let me do a quick Q&A session now of what all concepts what we have discussed. Are you people okay? So good morning, Vandana K. Vandana K, are you there? Am I audible, Vandana?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
So Vandana, what do you understand by the term called as ergonomics? What you have understood now, all this, I was discussing about ergonomics, right? What you have understood about ergonomics? Any one word? What you have understood?
People's efficiency at their work.
Huh? Come again, Vandana. What is that? People's
efficiency in working environment.
Okay, people efficiency in working environment. Okay. Any other answers, students? Any volunteers? What do you understand by ergonomics? I have discussed all about ergonomics, the benefits of ergonomics, the programs are related to ergonomics.
Adapting to that work environment.
Adapting, okay. So is it the safety of all the employees? That is very, very important today, right, Aniket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good. So today, the last slide for the day, then I'll end the session. That is the work site analysis program, which are divided into 4 main categories. We'll try to understand all the categories here. So work site analysis, students, involves a variety of work site examinations to identify not only existing hazards, but also the conditions and the operations where changes might occur to create hazards. So effective management actively analyzes the work and the work site to anticipate and prevent harmful occurrences. So you can see the slide, all of you, gathering information from available sources. The second one is conducting the baseline screening survey to determine which job need closer analysis. Then we have the third point, which tells performing ergonomic job hazard analysis. Of those workstation with identified risk factor, and after implementing control measures. And last but not the least, conducting periodic surveys by taking feedbacks and follow-up studies. Okay, we'll try to understand the work site analysis program, which is divided into 4 main categories, and then I'll end the today's session. See, the first and the foremost thing what we have discussed was the first one, that is gathering information from available sources. See, record analysis and tracking is a very important concept here. The essential first step in the work site analysis is to record and then analyze and tracking to develop the information that are necessary to identify the ergonomic hazards at the workplace. So first thing is what we have to do is we have to identify and gather the information, and then we have to track from all the available sources. So what we are understanding now, the ergonomic programs that are best performed by a professional ergonomist, the ergonomic team or any qualified person can use the analysis program to conduct work site analysis and even to identify the stresses in the workplace. So the work site analysis program is divided into 4 main categories. The first one, what we are discussing now, is gathering information from available sources. So here, the essential first step in the work site analysis is the record analysis and tracking to develop the information necessary to identify the ergonomic hazards at workplace. Existing medical safety and insurance records should be analyzed for the evidence of injuries and disorders associated with cumulative trauma disorders. So healthcare providers should even participate in this process to track the patient records. Then the second important point when we come to gathering information from available sources, it could be incidence rate. So what do you mean by incident rate, students? It is for the upper extremity disorders, or it can be the back injuries, which can be calculated by counting the incidents and reporting the number of each 100 full-time workers per year. So normally, how do we calculate the incident rate? It is number of new cases per year multiplied by the workers of the facility, whole divided by number of hours worked or the facility per year. So you only tell me if the number of incidents which are happening in that particular floor is high, then utmost care should be taken in order to avoid that. Then the second, what you can see in the slide, conducting baseline screening surveys to determine which job need closer analysis. So what do you mean by baseline screening? So this is the second step in work site analysis, which is to conduct the baseline screening surveys, identify the jobs that put employees at risk of developing. So the first and the foremost point here need to identify is you have to prepare a checklist. So what do you mean by checklist over there? The survey is performed with an ergonomic checklist. So this checklist should include components such as the working posture, the materials handling, and even the upper extremity factors. The second important point what you need to consider is the ergonomic risk factors, which includes the conditions of a job process, workstation, or work method that contribute to the risk of developing the risk factor. So some of the risk factors are like repetitive or prolonged activities, or it can be forceful exertion, prolonged static postures, or awkward posture of the upper body, including reaching above the shoulders or behind the back and the twisting the wrist and other joints to perform the task, or sometimes inappropriate or inadequate hand tools, continued physical contact with work surface, or sometimes excessive vibration from the power tools, or someone who is working in extremely hot temperature, or someone who is extremely working in cold temperatures. So these are some of the risk factors which will have a direct impact on the health of an employee, right? Then we'll try to understand the back disorder risk factor. So risk factor for back disorder include the items such as bad body mechanics. It can be due to bending over at the waist, or continuous lifting from below the knees, from above the shoulders, and twisting at waist while lifting. Or it can be lifting or moving the objects of excessive weight, which is not possible from you, but we will try to lift it again. Or prolonged sitting, especially with poor posture. Then lock of adjustable chairs, footrest, body supports in work surface at workstations. Then poor grips on handles, or sometimes slippery foots. Correct? So what we are understanding now, we are trying to understand the conducting baseline screening surveys. How do we conduct the baseline screening surveys to determine which job need closer analysis? Then the third point here is, please see the slide over there, students. Performing ergonomic job hazard analysis of those workstation with identified risk factor and after implementing the control measures. So what do you mean by job hazard analysis? The job hazard analysis should be routinely performed by a qualified person for jobs that put workers at risk of developing the MSDs. So this type of analysis helps to verify risk factors at a light duty of restricted activity and at work positions. So workstation analysis, that is an adequate workstation analysis, could be expected to identify all the risk factors present in each studied job or workstation. So tools should be checked for excessive vibration. The tools and the PPs and the dimensions and adjustability of the workstation should be noted for each job hazard analysis. Then lifting the hazards. That means for manual material handling, the maximum weightlifting values should be calculated. Then based on that, you have to lift the weight. Then videotape method, that is the use of videotape were feasible and is suggested as a method for analysis of the work process. And last but not the least over there, the fourth point, conducting periodic surveys by taking feedbacks and follow-up studies to evaluate the changes. Please see the slide over there, the fourth step. So the fourth step in worksite analysis is to conduct periodic preview, or periodic surveys should be conducted to identify previously unnoticed factors or failures or deficiencies in work practices or engineering controls. The periodic review process should include feedback and even follow-up and trend analysis. Now, what do you mean by feedback and follow-up over there? A reliable system should be provided for all the employees to notify the management about the conditions that appear to be hazardous and to utilize their insight and experience to determine the work practice and engineering controls. So this may be initiated by the ergonomic questionnaire and maintained through an active and safety and health committee, or even by employee participation with the ergonomic team. So reports of ergonomic hazard or the signs and symptoms of potential CTDs should be investigated by screening surveys and ergonomic hazard analysis in order to identify the risk factors. Then we have trend analysis. See, trends of injuries and illness related to actual or potential should be calculated using several years of data. So trends should be calculated for several departments and process units and work situations. So these trends may be used to determine which work position are most hazardous, and they need to be analyzed by the qualified person. So we'll try to understand how to prevent the ergonomic hazard. There are many ways to reduce the ergonomic risk factors and help fit the workplace to the worker. So solutions can be grouped into three main categories. You can see the slide over there. Students, eliminate the hazard or improve the work policies and the procedures, and even provide personal productive equipment. And finally, establish a comprehensive ergonomic program. So we'll try to understand each one of them, and then I will take maximum 5 to 10 minutes, students, to explain this. So often the best solution involves a combination of approaches. The first point, what I mentioned over there, is eliminate the hazard. So the most effective way to control ergonomic hazard is to eliminate the risk factors altogether. How you can eliminate the risk factor, or how you can eliminate the hazard? Sometimes you can change the tools, equipment, job design, or even the work area to remove the hazard completely. So this we call it as engineering controls. So some of the example of engineering controls include redesign the workstations and work areas to eliminate reaching, bending, or other awkward postures. Then provide adjustable tables and chairs that can be used by the workers with a range of sizes and shapes, and even that allow neutral postures. Provide carts for the transporting material and even the mechanical hoist to eliminating the lifting. Then use tools that fit the hand, have no sharp edges, and eliminate the awkward hand and wrist positions. Then the second point over there, what you have to understand is improve the work policies and procedures. See, the next most effective solution is to develop the work policies, procedures, and practices that change how the job is done. So this is also called using administrative controls. So some of the examples of administrative controls include rotate the workers among different tasks to rest the various muscle groups of the body, which even reduces the repetition and ease the mental demands. Correct? So improve the work scheduling to minimize excessive overtime or shift work, which can cause even fatigue. Then increase the staffing to reduce the individual workloads. So providing workers with the training on safe working postures, lifting techniques, ergonomics policies and procedures, and the safe use of lifting and carrying devices. See, very important, students, what we need to understand here is training is a very critical element of nearly any solution and provides an important opportunity for worker participation. However, it is not a substitute for reducing the risk factors and should be used in combination with engineering and administrative controls. The third point over there is, please see the slide over there, provide personal protective equipment. See, while more permanent solutions are being found and implemented, or if you are unable to redesign the job or equipment to eliminate the risk, personal protective equipment, that is, PP can be used. So PP, that is personal protective equipment that can help address ergonomic problems, which includes knee pads for the kneeling task, shoulder pads to cushion loads carrier on the shoulder, or even gloves to protect against cold, vibration, or even the rough surfaces. Then the last one, what you can see the slide over there is establish a comprehensive ergonomic programs. So this is one of the most important point here. So employers should establish an ergonomic program to minimize the musculoskeletal disorders. So elements of a good program include what management commitment should be there. Very, very important. And worker involvement should be there. Then an organizational structure to get the work done. Such an ergonomic team or committee should be maintained. Then training and education of workers and supervisors should be there. Then job evaluation to identify the risk factors. Then hazard prevention and reduction or elimination of risk factors. Early detection and treatment of ergonomic injuries and even the medical management of injury cases. And a system for workers and supervisors to report ergonomic problems, symptoms, and injuries without reprisal. Then last point is ongoing evaluation of the ergonomics program. So workspace envelope. So what do you mean by workspace envelope over there? Please see the slide over there. We'll try to end today's session with this particular slide and the concept. We'll try to understand this. See, workspace is the space within which you perform the task that add up to your job. Physical design of a workspace includes working out how much space needed and positioning of furniture, tools, equipment, and any other items needed to perform the task in respect of posture, access, clearance, reach, and vision of the user. So a poorly designed workspace or a bad arrangement of furniture or equipment may result in injuries and strains due to adoption of uncomfortable working postures, less spare capacity to deal with unexpected events or even emergencies, the increased possibility of errors or accidents, and even inefficiency. So workspace envelope, what do you understand, is a three-dimensional space within which you carry out physical work activities when you are at a when you are at a fixed location. The limits of the envelope are determined by your functional arm, that is reach, which in turn is influenced by the direction of reach and the nature of the task being performed. So students, most of the things that you need to use to carry out your task should be arranged within this area. So workspace envelopes should be designed for the fifth percentile of the user population, which means that 95% of the users will be able to reach everything placed within the envelope. So we'll try to understand in a simple term this workspace envelope. So a workspace envelope basically means what? It is the space within which you perform the task that adapt to your job. It can be your office, or if you're working from home, it can be a room or the space where you're sitting. If you are cooking dinner, your workspace would be the area in the kitchen around the fridge, cooker, and the sink, correct? While you are reading, the workspace includes your desk, chair, and the area immediately around them. So, physical design of a workspace includes working out how much space needed and positioning of the furniture, tools, equipment, and any other items needed to perform the task in respect of your posture or access or clearance, reach, and vision of the user. So, students, please understand, a poorly designed workspace or a bad arrangement of furniture or equipment may result in the injuries and strains due to adoption of uncomfortable working postures, less spare capacity to deal with unexpected events or even the emergencies. The increased possibility of errors or accidents might happen, and inefficiency can be the result. So sometimes what happens, the dinner even takes longer to cook if your kitchen is badly organized. Correct? So workspace envelope, the workspace factors that you need to consider is what type of task will be carried out and what specific actions are to be used to complete the task. So will the potential users of the workspace be seated or standing? You have to ask all these questions. So what postures will the users have to adopt? Do you need to design using minimum, average, or maximum dimension? Or what are the visual aspects of the task? So this is about workspace envelope. So by this concept, I'll try to end the today's lecture. But before ending, students, I want to ask a small revision of the concept what we have discussed. I expect all the students should be present now so that the concept will be very strong. So today what we have discussed, we tried to understand the ergonomics, the meaning of ergonomics, right? So ergonomics, what does it mean? Ergonomics is defined as the science of conforming the workplace and all its elements to the worker. So it's a scientific principle applied in minimizing the physical stress associated with the workplace. Then even students, we understood today that what are the benefits of ergonomics, which includes improved health and safety for worker, then higher discipline or moral throughout the workplace, then it improves the quality, improves the productivity, then even it improves the competitiveness, because the injuries will be less, so even we can reduce the cost involved. Okay, then we even understood the ergonomic task analysis. Then very important, we discussed about the companies or which have implemented the ergonomic programs. Then we even discussed about how to prevent the ergonomic hazard which is going to happen in any organization. And we finally discussed about the workspace envelope. So the materials for this particular module 2 will be shared with Varsha madam, and she'll be putting in the group. So I hope all of you have understood, a little bit about module 2, that is ergonomics. I hope when you study once, all these concepts, whatever I have discussed, so it will be very strong in your mind. So I will end the session, students. Thank you so much for your patience listening. Have a fantastic day ahead.